Hello and welcome on another adventure. Today we have a special guest, Christine.
Hello.
She came all the way up from Arizona to come play in the snow up here on the flanks of Mount Hood. Today we're going to climb up Blue Box Pass Peak, just a little south of Mount Hood. And if that sounds familiar, it's probably because you have gone over the Blue Box Pass on Highway 26 on the way to Bend from Portland or vice versa. Today should be about 2 miles. We're going to be on the PCT for about 500 feet, and then we're splitting off onto the Blue Box Pass Trail. Today I am on cross-country skis for the first time in about 4 years, and Christine is on snowshoes for the first time ever. So we're going to have a little bit of fun. It should be only about 2 miles each way, but it might take us a while because we're getting used to our new footwear. All right, our very first junction is very soon after we pass the road. You can see here we have Blue Box Trail to the left and Clear Lake to the left as well. That's where we're going to be heading. If we go straight, that would be the PCT, but we're going to head up to Blue Box, and that should be our only turn from here on out until we get to the summit. So here we go. All right, so it's gotten a little bit steep for the cross-country skis. So luckily it is hard-backed enough and not deep enough that I can walk just fine in my cross-country ski boots. But Christine is still enjoying her snowshoeing adventure. So if you're gonna come up here in the wintertime, maybe snowshoes would be the better choice for this trail. Otherwise, it's a pretty nice, beautiful winter wonderland up here. We're having a lot of fun. All right, we made it up the steep part of the Blue Box Trail, and now we're on a little bit of a plateau. And looking at the maps, it looks like there's actually a little bit of a network of roads up here, and the trail kind of curves right. We don't really have any trail markers, and the trail isn't really obvious since everything's covered in snow. So we're just kind of heading in that general direction and hoping we make it back onto the trail at some point. But it should be pretty obvious. But if you're coming out here in the winter and you're not able to follow the trail, definitely bring some good navigation tools. All right, we've made it to the summit of Blue Box Peak. It's kind of hard to tell exactly where the summit is. It's kind of all a flat little area up here, but I'm gonna say we're here, and maybe I'll tromp around a little bit here just to make sure we touch it. But otherwise, we're up here in a really nice winter wonderland. It's pretty gorgeous up here. The trail does continue all the way back down to Clear Lake on the other side, so that's another way you could approach, especially in the summertime. We were thinking we might do that if we had more time, but today we don't, because we were moving a little slower than we thought, especially with the getting used to the cross-country skis and everything. Otherwise, this is a fantastic view up here. Wonderful day. We had the whole trail to ourselves the entire time. And Christine really enjoyed her first time on snowshoes.
It was a success.
It was a success.
Quite beautiful up here.
Yes, it is wonderful. We'll continue to share views on the way down. Otherwise, we're really happy to be up here. All right, we didn't really have very many views at the summit because it was kind of closed in by trees, and otherwise, we have a pretty cloudy day here today anyway. So I'm not sure, even though we don't have views today, you might not have any views anytime you come up. But if you come up in the winter, you will get to enjoy this fantastic winter landscape up here. It is quite gorgeous. All right, we've made it back to the junction with the Pacific Crest Trail, and I'm going to go ahead and give my report now because there's a little bit of noise coming from the road over there at the Frog Lake trailhead. And my mouth is a little cold, so I'm having a little bit of trouble enunciating, so if I say weird things, that's why. But we made it up to Blue Box Peak today. We had a really good time. The summit of Blue Box Peak is at an elevation of 4,600 feet, and it has a prominence of 880 feet. And we had about 4 miles, just a little under actually, about 3.75 miles round trip up to the top, 750 feet of elevation gain. And it was a really fun day. I'd love to thank everyone that's made this possible. The U.S. Forest Service and Mount Hood National Forest for preserving this land. And of course, Christine for joining me.
So much fun.
Had a really fun time today. All you viewers out there, thanks so much for watching. And of course, the original stewards of this land. Currently, we're actually on the lands of the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs. It's kind of a junction near junction of the two reservations. And then also, we're on the ancestral lands of the Molalla people, the Cascade Chinook, and the Tanino peoples. We're kind of on a junction of all their lands as well. But of course, love to thank the original stewards of this land. And that's it for today. I'll see you at the top. All right, one final note. We found that it's actually easier to cross the road here at the entrance of the parking lot instead of over at the Pacific Crest Trail because the snowbanks are so built up where they plow it, so it's easier to cross just at the road and then go over to the trail that's over there by that sign. And then one final note is we're here at a snow park. In the wintertime, you will need a snow park pass, or in the summertime, you'll need a national forest pass. Otherwise, see you at the top. My mouth is just so cold. Maybe I'll preface this. This is all on camera.